What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast, the NBA podcast of the people. And tonight, it's all about the hustle and winning this whole damn thing as we continue our off-season, off-topic episodes. And tonight, we break down Winning Time, the hit HBO show, and of course, the Netflix movie Hustle. Tonight, I'm joined by the stats man himself, Chris Gorman. How you doing tonight, bud?
Oh, Titus. Feels good to be back. It's been like 4 weeks
too long,
since I've been on the show.
Yes.
One thing I want to say is the Rudy Gobert trade was not an overpay, but I will discuss that at a later time.
Yes.
We're not here to discuss basketball as I understand it. Just want to get that out there.
I've been told I'm not allowed to talk about basketball and Rudy Gobert. No, we can maybe get to the end of it.
No,
and of course,
I'll save it for another pod.
Save it for another pod. We'll definitely do a deep dive on anything that happens this summer. Unfortunately, hasn't been a ton of.
We'll see what happens with Donnie,
KD,
maybe KD, probably not
happen.
KD.
No, yeah, Kyrie.
But yeah.
And then of course, making it sound as delicious as those peanut M&Ms. I'm assuming it's Adam the professional bronze.
Wait, you say peanut or peanut butter?
Oh, peanut butter.
Yes.
Oh, peanut butter. Okay, that's different.
Very.
Yes.
And they're tasting as good as it sounds.
All right, our man. So yeah, we're here. We're talking about Winning Time. We're talking about Hustle. So not super off topic this week. A little on brand. A little NBA related type
Basketball
stuff. Basketball adjacent. Definitely some shows. So I guess first question I have for you, Chris. Just kind of as we lead up to this, how many times were you recommended watching Winning Time? Because for me, a lot of people know in my circle, my life, they know that I'm a basketball guy. I was constantly told, "Hey man, have you seen Winning Time? You got to see it. I know you're a basketball guy. You got to watch it." Did it happen? Did you have the same experience?
I didn't get it that frequently. It was always on my list. I spent a lot of my time talking to coworkers, and they mentioned people who I didn't think were interested in basketball mentioned that show, mostly because of the Adam McKay affiliation with it more than it being about basketball. So that's kind of where it was for me. It never got too annoying because I was like, yes, I need to watch the show. I would always agrre with it.
Yeah.
So,
okay, yes, I'm watching that. Yeah, it definitely wasn't annoying, but it was funny because like by the third person, I was like, yeah, I know, everybody's telling me about it. Oh, I'm watching it. And then finally, I have my one buddy at work. He was like, dude, Winning Time. I was like, oh, me and my buddy were doing it for the pod. I'm definitely getting to it. He was excited. So I still got to talk to him about it.
For the pod.
Doing it for the pod. So once that was up, then it's for sure. It's for sure happening. Well, let's start with Winning Time, and then we'll cover Hustle later. So just your first, overall thoughts on the series itself, kind of the show, maybe some of the hype around it and after it that you kind of heard about, and maybe, what were you thinking?
I'm very high on this show. It is top 5, one of the best new shows of the year.
Oh yeah.
I'm not really a film critic at heart, but if I'm gonna say it was one of the most enjoyable shows that I've watched this year. People are comparing it to Succession season 3, which is also on HBO. Wouldn't go that far. Succession season 3 was a masterpiece of cinema, of TV that everybody should watch. But Winning Time was very good for a season 1 show, and I'm excited to see what happens in season 2.
Yeah, so I definitely would echo your sentiment. It was, even though it was recommended to me a bunch and we're doing it for the pod, it was definitely something that I was always going to get around to just because it's basketball. It's Adam McKay. It's kind of, in my wheelhouse. Definitely glad I got into it. I didn't take to it right away. First couple episodes were a little slow for me personally, but then, by that third, fourth episode, I was hooked. I'm like, all right, I'm watching this whole thing. Actually watched a lot of it with my wife, Michelle, and she got into it too. So she was really
all right.
Yeah, she was.
My wife did not watch this show with me, mostly because I would just binge it by myself and I couldn't wait for her to watch it with me. So that's kind of fault. It's more my fault.
It's more your fault. And that's kind of what I was doing. So like Michelle missed the first couple episodes, but then I was eventually this weekend I was watching. I was like, you gotta, either I'm watching it here or I gotta go upstairs. She's like, yeah, just hang out and do it. Her first note was there was a lot of boobies and a lot of sex.
That wasn't the really. That was
the first couple.
She watched that one episode when Magic went to the
party. Yeah, the club.
Yeah.
So she was like, I see where you watch this. I'm like, no, it's just this basketball show. Come on, what are you talking
about? It's
about?
like when you put something on to show your parents, and it's like the one sex.
All right, you know what? I didn't know it was gonna be like this, but then after she got into it, and just general thoughts on it. I really liked it, really enjoyed it. By the end of it, I was completely obsessed with it. I was dying to see that last episode. I think I had to wait a day from when I was binging it. Just ran out of time that one night. And then I'm with you. One of the best new shows of this year for sure. One of the best shows I've seen this year, and really hoping for more from them. So, without any further ado, then let's go ahead and get into some questions about the show itself. Chris, who was your favorite character in the show? The actual character. Let's not say actor or performance just yet. We'll save that. Do that.
Yeah, later, I mean, I would say my favorite actor is Jason Segel.
Okay, yeah.
Just because I related with him a lot when I was on How I Met Your Mother. It was a very growing, or what is, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but it came at a time when it was a very formative time for myself. So How I Met Your Mother, Jason Segel will always have a place for me. I didn't really care for Paul Westhead. I don't think you're supposed to. He's not that likable.
Yeah, he's kind of he's a bard.
He's a bard. He's a good character. I think my favorite character. They really I feel like nailed the magic portrayal. Yes. I listened to a podcast. I think it was Spinsters. They had Adam McKay on, and they talked about how hard it was to cast Magic and Kareem. Yeah, and Magic was just the perfect casting. It
really was. Yeah, I think I have his name pulled up here. While we're looking at that, I'll show the lawn boss is in the chat.
Quincy Isaiah. This guy, he there's Joey. Michelle is wise. Quincy Isaiah, who really did not do anything prior to this. He got this through he was an unknown, and he just came in and just lights out because it's so hard to be Magic. Magic Johnson has such a unique personality. How are you gonna match this charisma on screen like this? And
his name is Magic,
man. It's perfect. And like, I know Magic's maybe a little upset by the portrayal, but it's him. You can just tell it's from what we want to see from it. It's perfect in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely felt like a real and fair portrayal of Magic. I'm sure, like, some of the stuff with the infidelity and some of the, like, kind of how he acted towards women and stuff early in that season and stuff he maybe doesn't feel great about or whatever. But definitely, I felt like that's Magic, man. You know what I mean? Magic. And he just like that, like you said, the charisma, the smile is perfect. Just kind of the way.
Oh yeah.
He just nailed it every bit, because like I'm watching it felt like watching a like footage of Magic. Like this felt like the the Jordan doc, like last Dance, like when you're watching actual Jordan footage. This felt like that, specifically with the Magic portrayal from that guy, Quincy Isaiah. Like you were saying, he just absolutely nailed it. So he was kind of your favorite character then, just in
Absolutely.
general?
Yeah, Quincy. Okay. What do you got going here?
I actually really liked Jeannie Buss, the way they kind of portrayed her. I know she runs the Lakers now currently, or was for a while.
Yes.
Yes. I was trying to remember. I didn't end up looking it up.
I think she does right now.
I know she's a big shot.
She gives a lot of quotes in the interview out there. So I would say she's running it.
I think, well, I mean, like, honestly, there was a lot of characters. I could probably just rattle off a bunch of characters from the show. Pat Riley was a great character. I just loved a lot of this stuff. But
wait, do you when he was first? I had the actor. Oh, is it
It's Brody, right?
Adrian Brody, yeah, who Oscar award-winning actor turned support. Anyways, when I saw Adrian Brody being Pat Riley, I'm like, really? Pat Riley?
Yeah, I was in on that. I heard about that.
And like, then you see, we talk about prior, we talk about now with Pat Riley though, man. He was like out of nowhere. He didn't know what to do with his life. He was kind of like everybody who's a late 20 something, early 30 something who just ended what they've been doing for the last 15 years. It was a more relatable person than you see Pat Riley today. Pat Riley today is such a cocky man who wins everything.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. It'll be interesting how it develops. Yeah.
No, he was fun, but I like the Jeannie Buss character. I felt she was a very like dynamic character. The way she kind of started off as like this, sort of nepotism type hire from her dad. The other staff didn't really like her. She had these ideas, but they were like, you just make coffee and all this stuff. And then kind of the way her ideas sort of took hold, and she, kind of developing the Laker girls, and, and all that stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And just kind of some of the, towards the end of it, when I forget that who her boss is in the show, the name of the character in the show, but like her boss.
Oh, Claire Rothman.
Yeah. Who eventually becomes the treasurer and stuff like that for the Lakers. But the way when Jeannie at the end is like asking her like if she'll be her one day, and she goes, "No, you're going to be him," meaning, Jerry Buss. And I like that was kind of a cool character development from where she started to where she went at the end of the show. I was like, oh, I was all in on that character. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
So that was definitely something for me that I really liked. Any other characters, like smaller characters or roles that kind of stuck out to you?
Larry Bird. I remember I saw an image of Larry Bird prior to watching the show on Twitter, and everyone was kind of laughing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, this looks ridiculous. Like he looks like a skinny shrimp with a funny mustache. And then you see him on the show, and it's like, no, this is a legitimate portrayal. Yeah, this was a great portrayal of Larry Bird. Fun fact: Bo Burnham was originally cast to play Larry Bird. If you don't know Bo, he's basically like what Adam is, but like with jokes and songs.
Yeah. Here his head went up. We can see him in the background.
But I would have loved to see Bo, but I love I need to pull up the actor who played him, but.
I have it pulled up here, but yeah, star-studded cast.
He was another no-name guy that like just is blown up because of what he did here.
Yeah, Wood Harris as Spencer Haywood, he's like in The Wire, from The Wire. John C. Reilly obviously as Jerry Buss. Gabby Hoffman as Claire Rothman. Jason Clarke as Jerry West, which is another great character. I really like.
Okay, Jason Clarke as Jerry West did a perfect job as playing the Jerry West character that was written for him.
Yes, it was written for him. I like the way he's hit.
Because and honestly, I'll defend it because McKay defended it on the Spencer, so I'm just echoing what he said essentially. But that's how you would understand. That's probably how Jerry West was during the time when he did not want to coach the Lakers anymore. He was still mad that he won MVP in a losing team.
Yeah,
which is kind of hilarious.
That is hilarious.
That was probably one of my favorite scenes that he threw the trophy and broke it. But but he probably was like that. That's
he's a salty old dude.
And I think what people are mistaken is that's how he's being portrayed as a person. No, that's not who he is as a person. That's who he was in that moment in time, and that's fine.
People can grow, people can change. Jerry.
People go through tough moments, and that was Jerry was going through a very tough moment. It's fine. He came out on the other side. We all know how he is today. Still throwing shots at JJ Redick of all people, but he's So I love the portrayal by Jason Clarke.
Jillian Jacobs as Chris Riley, Pat Riley's wife. She's an actress and Sally Field as Jessie Buss, Jerry Buss's mother. She was excellent, and Sally Field, legend. Sean Patrick Small is the actor that
I was just about to say this guy
killed it.
Killed
it. I think the introduction to his character, isn't he like walking in? He's got like that vest over like this farm flannel shirt, and he's like spitting into a beer can.
Spitting
it was just an epic intro because they don't show his face. Like when they introduce Larry Bird, and we're watching it with my wife, of course, and I just go, "That's Larry Bird." I didn't have to see his face, nothing. I just saw the little vest, the flannel, and just chewing and spitting into a can. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's Larry Legend right there." And he just nails it. The way he's so like just grumpy, doesn't want to be in these interviews with Magic, and Magic's hamming it up and being the charismatic guy that he is, and Larry's just having none of it. Same thing on the court.
That was a great scene too when it was Magic and Larry in the press conference, and everyone's like feeding. I think it was at the All-Star game. Everyone's feeding on Larry. Everyone loves Larry. Larry gives like the dumbest answer.
Yeah,
and it's like Magic's trying to be like the most likable person. Nobody cares.
Yeah,
and
But I really liked because, kind of going to characters, like the Larry character was really cool because he was that salty guy. And then when at the end of the series, when the Lakers are in the finals, and whoever he's watching the finals with says something to him about like, you're going to get him next year, and he goes, hey, he's there this year, I'm not. You know what I mean? And his attitude, and then he goes outside and starts playing basketball, like getting shots up in the driveway. That's perfect. That's Larry to a T. But like. Yes, he's salty. Yes, he wants to beat Magic, but still has all the respect in the world for him of like, hey, dude, he's there. He got there. I didn't. So, shut the hell up.
Right. He still respects the guy at the end of the day. Yeah.
So I thought that was a cool note because I think those guys obviously started as rivals and stuff, but I think they've kind of grown to be sort of friendly rivals.
They're definitely friends.
Friends.
I mean, anybody who's that, talented, you kind of, I guess, just
respect each other. Them.
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
So, well, if we're kind of any other characters, you want to just kind of move on to
I wanted to ask. Are you gonna go? Or maybe I'll wait. You mentioned Spencer Haywood. The Wood Harris was fantastic. Kareem. Did we talk about Kareem?
No, we really didn't talk about Kareem.
Hughes.
Yeah.
Solomon Hughes did a great job, I thought, given the prickly. Every time there's somebody playing that kind of performance, as like this, jerk who nobody cares about, it's really hard to kind of like that guy. But I thought he did it as well as he could. I think he's 6'11" in real life. He played for the Harlem Globetrotters. I think he's a professor at Stanford. Yeah, he owns a PhD from the University of Georgia. So the guy, so he's an accomplished man before he was an actor, and he's basically only an actor because of the show. Like, that's what like the direction, and having someone like Adam McKay, who's just make these guys be even better than maybe what they are. But
not many roles for a 6'11" scholar,
right?
Like, what is he gonna? What are you gonna play? Oh, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yes, that's perfect.
Oh, the other one I wanted to call out was Devon Nixon, Norm Nixon's son, doing a Straight Outta Compton kind of thing here with the father-son portrayal. He was fantastic. The scene with when they're at not Steve Ballmer. Oh my God, who's the old owner of the Clippers? I already forgot his name.
Sterling, Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling, who was the whiteout, who did the whiteout party famously every year. I remember reading the Players Tribune with Blake Griffin about it, but it was fun to see that in the show. And it was Magic versus Norm on the the one-on-one game. Apparently that did not happen.
Okay,
that's a fabricated thing. I wanted that to be true, so I made sure I looked it up to be like, did Norm really beat Magic like that?
Magic like that?
But no,
go back to school.
He didn't. It's fine. Yeah, go back to school. He was questioning whether you should even go. And it's like,
it was a dramatic license.
It's fine, and that's fine. Like, I didn't mind it. But let's get.
Just on that real quick. I haven't spent the time to look up what actually happened and what didn't, but there was definitely a lot of moments where I'm like, oh, I got to go look that up. Did that actually happen? So it's kind of cool. All right, sort of on this same kind of wavelength here. Favorite performance. So this isn't like the character. This is like which actor kind of killed it for you and just really did a great job in their performance as.
That's what do you mean? It was Magic.
It was Magic. Oh, that's what you go for.
Are you talking about like one single scene moment?
No, like just like the performance. So who had the a great performance.
A great performance.
So I'll go since I have.
What do you got here? Yeah,
it's John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss for me.
Oh my God, we haven't even talked about.
Talked about him. Yeah, I know he's like the lead of the show, but just like I didn't care for the character necessarily of Jerry Buss, but just like the performance that John C. Reilly was giving was an all-time performance. Man, he was just cooking. He was just he was in his bag.
It was perfect. I don't know if you heard that Adam McKay and Will Ferrell were originally partnering with this show, and Will Ferrell wanted to play Dr. Buss.
Yeah, and
but Adam's like,
told
no, John can. We're gonna give this to John, and Will Ferrell still does not talk to Adam McKay to this day.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing.
They're no longer friends because
friends over Jerry Buss.
Will Ferrell really wanted to be, and like Will probably would have done okay. But the thing with Will Ferrell, you always see him, and it's like that's Will Ferrell. Well, John C. Reilly, he's so good at like becoming that other person. Like you don't even look at him as like, oh, that's John C. Reilly. It's like, no, this is Dr. Buss. This is
Dr. Buss.
So,
it is low V shirts. Just
I love the portrayal because like he's introduced as like he's at the Playboy Mansion, fucking of all places. Like this guy's a degenerate, just like sleeping with a bunch of other women. He's got kids he kind of neglects on the side. He doesn't care, but he's also such a likable person.
Yeah,
like, it's so good.
Personality goes a long way.
Personality, it really does. Mm-hmm. It's sad. One other character we haven't talked about that I want to talk about was Jack McKinney by Tracy Letts.
Yes.
Who I didn't know Jack McKinney was like a person associated with the Lakers.
Yeah, no, I didn't know either. I was
like those early episodes where like the one episode where they were going to give the job to somebody who went to Texas Tech. But then the next day he ended up dead in a trunk, or his friend ended up dead in a trunk. I had to look that up. That really happened. like that. I was like, wait, what the hell?
The UNLV coach, the coach of the Running Rebels.
That's what it was. Yeah, in Las Vegas, there's always crazy shit going on. So who knows? But that really happened. That was wild to read that and be like, oh nope, we still need a coach. It's like, guys, you have 2 weeks before. What do you mean you need a coach? And then they get Jack McKinney, and he's great. And then of course, 14 games into the season, he falls off his bike and
eats it.
Practically almost died.
Yeah, because at the end of that episode, so he falls, like he's riding his bike. He's like, his wife convinces him to go play tennis. He's meeting Paul Westhead to play tennis, and he's got his tennis racket on his thing. He just rides the bike, brakes give out, it goes face first over the bars and just into the ground. It eats it, drags it, like, you know, you can see he's all messed up.
It was a gnarly scene too.
Yeah, it was gnarly, man.
Show that now.
So me and it was funny too, is me and my brother have been getting into riding our bikes. My brother's been really into it, and I've just been kind of going with him a couple times on one of his old bikes. And we went, like, after I watched this show, and I'm like, dude, I have to send you the clip of this thing, because I was so nervous after. Right, I'm like, I don't, like, he got really seriously hurt, man. Like,
I think was Jack wearing a helmet too? I think he was.
No, he was. Yeah, no, he was no helmet in the.
No, it was no helmet.
Oh,
but I thought he like fell on his face. I can't remember.
Yeah, he fell right on his face on on asphalt in the road.
So it wouldn't have mattered technically.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it's just like, oh, maybe I gotta slow down here. But yeah, no, that was a pretty grisly scene. But he played that character great. I love the tension between him and Paul Westhead as it kind of got later in the season when they were still winning games and stuff. And
and then Paul's like,
Paul's like,
should you?
Should you coming back? And
Jack was he was kind of ahead of his time with I remember when he was first introduced and he was showing like, hey, this is what you guys did. You just gave the ball to Cream in the post. Cream did work. You got to run and gun it. You got to run up the floor. Let's do that. That gets you more points per possession. It was just like, the evolution of essentially where we're at today with more 3-pointers, but like he was on the right track. So it's kind of fun to see that, you know,
kind of inventing Showtime a little. And then of course with the perfect point guard to do it, and Magic Johnson kind of coming in the league, and you just kind of have the right guy, the right coaching system. So it was a perfect setup. But so I guess kind of going into that, what was your favorite scene or episode or moment from the show that you kind of really remember later on? You know, even after
there's so many. I mean, I've listed a few of that I liked already. With the falling off the bike, the trunk and the
trunk scene was intense.
But the moment I haven't talked about yet that really kind of blew my mind was the coin flip for the number 1 pick.
Oh yes,
and how they're just like, does anybody have a coin? And it's just like how crazy, like how it was just literally
it used to be
just dynamic moment that shaped history is based off of somebody who couldn't find a coin for a minute there.
And that was between the Bulls and the Lakers, right?
Bulls and Lakers, right? Yeah.
So the Bulls, a coin flip away from Magic Johnson.
The Bulls ended up not getting Magic Johnson.
Nope.
They took David Greenwood with the 2nd overall pick.
Cool.
Senior out of UCLA. He played 6 seasons for the Bulls, so obviously did not work out as well. But we got Michael Jordan a few years later, and we're fine. It worked out fine.
It all worked out in the end.
Yeah,
that was funny. And then I kind of like on that similar like sliding doors moment when Magic is trying to figure out a shoe deal, and Nike's in the lobby and like showing him the Nike shoe, the swoosh with purple and Magic on the side, and he ends up signing with Converse, and like they did that kind of like he regretted it.
And my favorite moment with that too is Magic asked Converse, like, hey, can we get like, my name on it? Like, he's trying to take the idea from Nike to put on the Converse shoe, and Converse is like, yeah, we'll talk about that. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, they're not going to do it.
It's like,
we're
that's
Converse.
a red flag. Maybe you should have done that.
Gambled.
Evolve as a company, Converse.
I think for me, we talked about this pre-show, but I'll bring it up. The episode for me that really stuck out is episode 4. I think it's titled "Who the Fuck is Jack McKinney?"
Yeah, great question.
It was that was the episode that really I found myself really enjoying the show. Like the first 3, I wouldn't say, I guess slow would be the right word, but it's just a lot of build up, a lot of setup. And it was kind of just getting.
This is the kind of show where when you tell somebody to watch, you're like, just give it 4 episodes.
Give it 4 episodes. Like just trust me, give it 4, you'll be fine.
Give me 3 hours of your time.
Give me 3 hours of your time, and then spend another 7. But no, it gets to the 4th episode, and it's kind of McKinney's in there. Like you were just describing, putting in his system, and I think that's like the practice when they're having the practice, and the guys are kind of not really liking the system, but it was just so interesting. You kind of saw where it was going, and all the kind of characters had finally come on stage. I believe like Pat Riley's been introduced at that point, and so you kind of had all the pieces in play, and you were like, all right, we're getting into the meat of the show. So it took a little bit of time, but that was definitely the episode for me
also,
that hooked me.
With that scene that you're talking about where they're at practice and they didn't like it, I thought they did a really good job at explaining how the offense was going to be run. Like you're just going to naturally be open in these positions. If you go to this spot, trust the system, you're going to be open here. I thought it was really smart of how they actually talked about the show in that way.
Yeah, and kind of seeing how the difference between like how basketball was played and how these guys were kind of, it was very rigid and wasn't as fluid as it is today, and kind of as they were trying to make it. So definitely interesting. Any other like episodes in particular kind of stand out to you?
That
was
your kind of the moment for me. The episode wise, the one episode I always think about is the final one.
Yeah, that was the other one I wanted to talk
about. When they won it, and Magic was the center, which was insane.
On the road as a rookie, he scored 40 points.
Was it really 40?
I think it was 40. But yeah, so it's
the
last episode is basically it's Game 6 of the NBA Finals in 1980 against the 76ers.
It was 42. Guy
42
got points, 15 boards, 7 assists.
A Giannis level performance.
47 minutes too. Like the guy
played like every minute of the game. Ridiculous. But yeah, no, that episode was probably, aside from like episode 4, which was kind of like my getting into the series episode, the final episode was definitely the one I really liked the most. Just had a lot of,
and it's interesting to see Kareem at home watching it.
Yeah,
because like obviously in today's day and age, they would have had the money to fly him out to Philly, to celebrate with his team, but of course he's hurt, so he stayed home. He still should have been MVP.
Yes, that was a weird thing too that happened. Did you? That was one. Did you look that up? Did that really happen? Was Kareem voted MVP and then like David Stern kind of? So a little backstory if you haven't seen the episodes are kind of remember at the very beginning, the assistant assistant commissioner, right? David Stern, future commissioner, is talking to Magic about being an all-star, and Magic kind of hints at like, hey, you guys decide who's all-stars anyway, right? He goes, no, we have writers that vote on that. And he's like, yeah, but you really decide. And kind of trying to say, hey, you should put me as an all-star. And then at the end, it comes back around the final episode, Kareem gets a phone call saying that he's voted finals MVP while he's at home, and Stern goes to see Magic in the locker room and says, hey, Kareem's not here. Yeah, he got voted, but we were kind of essentially like, hey, we want you to be the face of the league for the next decade. So we're going to give you the award. Can you like not, because he says, do you want me to accept on his behalf? And he's like, no, you're the winner. So did that really happen? They kind of change it?
Trying to find this on the fly.
There's probably no proof of that. But yeah, that was a cool moment. While you're kind of looking around for that, I can kind of talk. But I think that was cool. Just the way they captured the atmosphere of being there in Philly and how crazy it would have been.
Yeah, that happened. The reporters changed their votes.
That's wild. Dude, the NBA
did not want to present the award to an absent player.
So it should have been Kareem, but they're like, hey, we need to give this to somebody else. Oh, the other wild thing that that's what I was going to talk about was that the commissioner wasn't there because Kareem was out. So they were convinced that this was going to go 7, go back to LA. So the commissioner didn't fly out for the game. And then about halfway through the game, Stern's like, hey, I got to go check on the commissioner because they had to get him there and get the trophy there. It's just a different time in the league, man.
Such a different, like, nobody knows what the hell's going on. They're just, I can't believe that happened. Like, they just didn't want to give it to him because he wasn't there.
So, like, hey,
that's kind of sad. But nobody, because nobody, at the time, you weren't looking at basketball at such a historical level. You're kind of looking in the moment. While now we look at it so, historically, how does this influence somebody's legacy more than anything nowadays? Yeah. So, but back then, that's so dumb.
Yeah, as we were watching, I was telling Michelle, I was like, I'm pretty sure he wins the Finals MVP. And I thought it was Game 7. I was like, I think he has Game 7. I was like, he hits a sky hook. I know the whole thing, like the story. Kareem hurts his ankle, so I was like, I had heard about that. But then, like when it kind of happened, that it was like, Kareem gets the Finals MVP, and Michelle was livid about that. She was so mad. She was like, well, how would they tell me he won it if he didn't win? I'm like, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that I don't know if that part probably happened, but like Kareem wasn't even upset. Like he says later, like in the interview I read about, I watched with him, where he's like, I hated the way they portrayed that. That's not how it happened. It's like you probably were a little mad at the time. It's fine. Yeah. Like I understand you averaged
30,
33, 13, and 3 and 4.5 blocks a game. Like, come on, man. You're the MVP. Like, it's so silly.
Magic just had one really good game, but that was a great episode just in general. That last episode, good kind of like cap on the season. Definitely left you wanting more.
Seriously, like I need to read this book, and
yeah,
I
think I'm gonna watch the other
shows. I think the book goes into more seasons than just what we saw. I don't know. I need to watch it, but
I'm definitely gonna watch a doc on HBO about Kareem. I think it's called Minority of One or something. I'm gonna have to watch that one too.
There's a Magic doc too. There's so much to watch.
Yeah, there's so much.
Too much content. We're making content. There's too much going on.
All right, but maybe here we were talking about another question I have here is, what was the most unbelievable thing for you? Maybe was it something that just made you instantly go look it up, or was it something that you're like, could it be just as simple as like, kind of way a character acted, or something that happened, you're like, yeah, I don't believe that.
Well, so I've mentioned a few of the moments that were unbelievable with the trunk, with the bike.
Yeah,
the one, I don't know if we mentioned this yet, is Spencer Haywood and his drug addiction, and then
wanting to set up a hit.
The hit that he was going to put on Paul Westhead, that
and Kareem
that
too,
I had
right?
to look up immediately. Maybe it was on Kareem too, but it was always on drugs. He obviously didn't follow through on the hit, but like the fact that was even a storyline, you wouldn't make that up. Like you don't have to make that up. That's insane.
It's insane.
Like,
there was almost a hit in the middle of the NBA Finals.
Are you kidding me?
What's going on?
That was probably
that was probably the most unbelievable thing. For me, it was a little small or something, but the guy that played Dr. J was the only guy that I felt like didn't look like the guy. Like I felt like Larry looked like Larry, Magic looked like Magic, like, Kareem looked. I believe it.
Even Artis Gilmore looked like Artis Gilmore.
Yeah,
because they had the Bulls for a second. Yeah,
but then they show Dr. J, and I'm like, who is this guy? This is not Dr. J. This is like, we have Dr. J at home. You ordered Dr. J off Wish. What happened here? So like they got everybody else right, and then this Dr. J just like, okay, this is not him. That I didn't believe, but that was the most unbelievable thing for me for that whole thing. Like that's not Dr. J. Yeah, it would really bug me because I kept seeing him. I'm like, who's that supposed to be? I'm like, oh, it's Dr. J. One of the greatest players of all time. But yeah, the last thing I had on this was, and you kind of maybe confirmed it before the show, but second season that's coming at some point, right? Uh-oh, did you freeze?
Yeah, I don't know exactly when. No, I don't know exactly when, but they'll definitely do a second season. They got so much content, man.
Yeah,
we mentioned before, but the Lakers, they won 5 finals. They went to, I think Magic went to 8.
8 in that decade, and I think
total
9 if you count 91. Yeah, against the Bulls.
Of course, you gotta count 91. Of course.
But like I think he had a run. It's definitely 4. It might have been 5 straight, where the Lakers went 4 or 5 straight in the 80s. Ridiculous. They didn't win. They only won 2, I believe, in that stretch. But it's just like they just absolutely dominated the 80s. It was crazy.
It was 80, 82, 85, 87, 88 is when they won.
Yeah.
And but he was in the final. Yeah.
There's endless content. You could do a season where they lose. I mean, I really just in general want to see more of the Celtics and Larry Bird, just because that actor was so good. That was definitely something that I was like, just give me more of this.
and the Red Auerbach.
Yeah,
actor was great too. It was kind of a perfect. It kind of reminded me of Penguin from from Batman, where it was just kind of like this big fat guy with a cigar.
Michael Chiklis,
off all the time. So yeah, I hated the guy, and that was the point. It was perfect casting.
Perfect casting. You hated him. Well, anything else on Winning Time, or shall we move into Hustle? Or you got anything?
Let's go. Let's talk about this Hustle, man.
Let's go to Hustle.
All right,
Well, we got a question here from Baskets Be Awesome. We could lead us into Hustle. Who do you think would win the most Hustle award in the NBA? I believe this actually award exists, right?
I don't know if it's an official award. The Hustle award. So like,
this is
how do you define Hustle? Do you say Pat Bev? That's the first.
Pat Bev.
The first name that came to my mind was Caruso.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's just it's the award goes to a scrappy guy, right? Like a scrappy on-nose defender, a Marcus Smart.
Yeah, Marcus Smart type.
Kind of type guy. It's always a guard. Are they big men that are?
Really the big men get Defensive Player of the Year. The little guys get Hustle award, except for Marcus Smart this year.
Even if they deserve it.
All right, well let's go into Hustle. Thanks for the questions. Long Boston Baskets. So just start with your overall thoughts on the movie. You know, is Adam Sandler joint coming in hot with everybody in the NBA? Oh, here we go. Hold on. Joey's got an answer. Bobby, yes, he would win the Hustle Award.
Oh, yes. Alone. He's the big man hustle guy.
Yeah, he's the big man hustle guy. Thank you. We should have known. Our bad. So, yeah, just general thoughts on Hustle, man.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. It was not an Adam Sandler joint in the traditional sense. It was not
Kevin James, and
it did not have Kevin James. Alan Covert was a producer on it, who's always in Adam Sandler movies as well. He was the homeless guy in Happy Gilmore. Oh, anyways, nice. It was not Hubie Halloween. It was not Murder Mystery. It was not The Week of. Sandy Wexler, The Do-Over, The Ridiculous Six, Pixels, The Cobbler. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't like Blended.
Now?
It wasn't like
Blended is good. I stand for Blended.
It wasn't like Grown Ups 2. That's My Boy is okay. Just go with it. No. I'm getting back to 2011 now. I'm going back 10 years ago at this point. Meyerowitz Stories is pretty good. Noah Baumbach movie. That's more of a Noah Baumbach movie. And then Uncut Gems. So based on all that filmography, this is Adam Sandler's second best movie in the last 10 years, in my opinion.
Fair. So yes. Even though I have not seen Uncut Gems, I can agree with that. This was
yeah.
Go ahead. No,
one other thing I wanted to say about it is I looked up the writers. Will Fetters. Actually, sorry. I'll start with Taylor Maternay, who has like no writing credits prior to this besides writing for NBA 2K19 and 2K20. So he probably wrote for like the My Player scripts, and it kind of made sense because watching the movie, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching my career mode, at some points in Hustle here.
I created this character.
And then Will Fetters, he was an Oscar-nominated writer for A Star Is Born with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. So
okay,
bring those two together, you get Hustle with starting Adam Sandler. It was perfect. It was so
it's perfect. So I thought this was okay. I didn't love it as much as I loved Winning Time. Winning Time I really loved, but I did not enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. It came highly recommended to me, but I was like, it was fine. It was a solid movie, but it wasn't anything I'm going to revisit or anything. That's kind of my general thoughts. But I did have fun watching it. Did enjoy it, and it was like the cameos were endless and awesome. So
they were, yeah. Was it over the top? Was it too much cameo?
It was borderline like. The word I want to say is fan servicey. It felt like a Marvel movie. It was like out of control. We're like, oh, we're getting this guy too, and just like we're getting Dirk for 30 seconds on a FaceTime.
Dirk didn't mind me. What was the cameo that was kind of like, oh, really? Okay, come on.
Oh, ooh. Maybe just it was Dirk because it was just like it just felt like, even though I love the Dirk cameo, it just felt like, okay, we're gonna get Dirk. I know I did like it, but it just felt like that was like over the top.
I have two. Luca.
Yeah, that was another cameo.
One. I thought that was worse than Dirk's. And then Chris Middleton.
Oh yeah, just kind of.
He kind of like Sandler at one point just went to Chris and be like, "Hey man, what do you think?" He's like, "Yeah man, this guy can play." Yeah. And I'm like, "Chris, what are you doing at this?"
And then he says like, "Thanks, Chris." He's just like, "You makes a point." Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, we know Chris Middleton, or maybe the inside NBA guys. I think they got a couple of seconds there.
They threw a bone to them.
Yeah, threw a bone, but it's just kind of like, all right, we're getting everybody, I guess.
Yeah, you had to bring them in, I guess.
They even had Candace Parker in the background on the TV at a bar or something. It was just like we got literally everybody in the NBA.
Right. I love the Dirk moment just because at the end of the call, he's like, all right, say hi to your grandma for me. I know she's not doing it. She's like, my grandma died. And it's like, oh, that's funny. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, that was funny. It was good. It was just it was just so like random. He's like, I'm gonna call Dirk, and then the way he's like, who's this? I felt like a very COVID, like, hey, can I call you Dirk for like 5 minutes and just record this and we'll put it in the movie.
Oh, that's
what it felt like. All right. So did you have a favorite character from this movie?
Oh, it's Anthony Edwards.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hermit Wiltz.
Hermit Wiltz
performance. He's it was perfect because it's the kind of I understood where Bo Cruz was in that situation where it's like, all right, I'm not gonna get rattled. At the combine towards the end of the movie where he's like, all right, no, I'm not going to do anything. And then Anthony Edwards, they wrote such a good line for him. And I don't have the full quote here, but he's like, is that your girl over there? I bet. Where's her mom at? I bet. I bet I could meet her mom, and I could be her stepdad and give her a real man to look up to. And I was like, holy shit! That was such a good line. He delivered it so perfectly, and it's like you're told ahead of time not to react to anything, but when you hear a fucking line like that, it's gonna rally you up. It was so good, and it was perfect for their performance.
Yeah, especially the way they kind of hyped or not hyped, but like just showed that relationship that Bo had with his daughter the whole show, the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then like he waves at her in the stands during one of the combine games, and even I turned to Michelle, she was watching with me. I said, oh, he just gave it away, and then sure enough, Kermit Willis is just, he sees it, he goes, oh, okay, I got a soft spot now.
Yep, that was
he
perfect.
Just dug in. Yeah, no, I think he was probably my favorite character as well. I mean, I did really like Bo Cruz, the cruise missile, Boa.
The cruise missile, right?
Cruise missile. I thought he was
like that one. No,
I like that one. But I thought he maybe just to have a different opinion there. He probably was also my favorite character. He's the main character, but I thought he was
one other actor I do want to call out that was very unlikable was Ben Foster, who
is it the owner,
the son of the owner.
Yes,
who took over the ownership duties.
Terrible.
He did a great job. I remember I saw him in a movie called Hell or High Water with Chris Pine like 5 years ago, and he has the face of like this spoiled asshole. Like his resting face, pisses you off. It's like, oh, fuck this guy. He hasn't done anything. You're just like, fuck this guy. And I looked him up. He was engaged to Robin Wright at one point.
Oh wow!
Right, Princess Bride. Are you kidding me? Here, House of Cards. But he's married to Laura Prepon, has a couple kids, doing all right. This guy left high school after his freshman year to go pursue a career in acting. So of course he fucking did, because this guy sucks and I hate him. But he was perfect for the role. People were kind of calling him like an off-brand Justin Timberlake, which I kind of saw. But
I thought he looked like Haley Joel Osment for a minute. I was like,
oh yeah, I can see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I know him from Inferno, the Dan Brown novel adaptation. He's in there. He plays not Zuckerberg. There's a name of whatever the eccentric billionaire is.
Movie?
Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
of course he is. He's a little more likable in that one, but yes, he was very unlikable in this movie. Killed it in that performance, but I absolutely hated him.
Yeah,
and every time he was on screen, I was like, please just get off my screen.
Oh, another good actor. If we're gonna keep naming actors, the start of the movie was really good. Seeing Boban.
Yes, Boban.
He's such a likable guy. He's like, you're in your 22. Yes, I'm 22. This is your son. His son's not even 10 years. He's 10. He's like, yeah, my son is 10 years old. The son is not 10 years old.
No, the son looks like 18. He's like the son is like 6'3". He's like, he's 10, and then he's like, okay.
And then they brought him back at the end of the movie. They're like, oh yeah, Boban Dallas thinks he's 18. Boban hits a 3 at the top of the key. And it's like, it doesn't matter if he's 18. Like Jose can, anyways, he was perfect for the movie. I remember seeing Boban in John Wick 3. Mm-hmm. John Wick 3 he was in. The action scene was whatever.
Yeah.
But Boban, man, he's got a career with this kind of stuff, like doing the, what Cream did with Airplane.
Yeah, just kind of gimmicky roles.
Keep doing this, and
Yeah, we kind of touched on, I guess, these are kind of questions all blurred together. Have best performance or, best NBA personality. So, like, who was kind of the best performance from the NBA side of it for you? Was it?
Besides Anthony Edwards,
besides
Kenny Smith, honestly did a really solid acting thing.
Okay, this is perfect because I thought his acting was bad. He was gonna be my pick too.
Okay,
but I was like, it just felt a little stiff. It felt a little stiff. And
some scenes were stiffer than I think he got more comfortable maybe as the movie went on. I don't know.
Yeah, but like very early on, I felt like he's just like delivering lines. Maybe that was that first scene with him with Sandler, and like you could see because Sandler's an actor, just kind of felt a little off. But I was enjoying like how sort of cheesy it was. I think
at first I thought this is Kenny. It was like Kenny Smith and Dr. J. Great, and it's like no, this is Leon Rich. Okay. We're doing a thing. Okay. Let's roll with this.
We're gonna have the inside NBA crew on here, and Kenny Smith is gonna play Leon somebody and be an agent. But no, he was. I like this. I like this performance in the sense of I thought it was funny to watch for me. I was like, you know what, man? Hey, do you get your check? I'm glad you got a name role here. You're not just as yourself.
Yeah.
So I was enjoying it in that sense. But yeah, he was my favorite also performance besides Anthony Edwards. It was obviously great. Any like favorite scenes or moments from the movie that kind of stood out to you?
Favorite scene. What's your favorite scene? What do you got? You got a scene?
I guess the one scene that I really like is when they start doing like the boa challenge in the park, and he's just like, anybody wants to come up, let's go, and he's blocking everybody. It was like $50 if you hit the rim, $100 if you make a shot, and $1,000 if you beat him in a game to 5. And he's just holding court out there, and they're taking video on him. He's going viral. It's great. Just kind of so it's to get him into the combine. I guess he couldn't get his name on the list for the combine, and they were trying to do it, so they built all this buzz. And that's kind of when they were showing a lot of like the NBA type shows. They were kind of, why is this guy not in the combine and all that stuff? So that was kind of cool. And then one of the Sixers players, I'm blanking on him right now.
Matisse?
No, it wasn't Matisse. It was Harris.
Oh, Tobias, yeah.
Yeah, Tobias Harris comes out and plays them in a game. It's like a legit game, and it gets good. And I think he loses. Tobias loses, and that's when it's like, oh, this guy's real.
Yeah.
But it was just a cool moment, and kind of seeing an actual NBA player out there was fun. And
my favorite after thinking about it was the workout Rocky-esque kind of montage.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler had another great line in there where he called Bo's mom a whore. And then like, they're getting after a little bit, he's putting up shots, and Larry's like, sorry, no, your mom's not a whore. Whores get paid. And just the whole thing. And it was like, oh, that's such a good line. It's a line I've heard before, but just hearing it in that context, the way that was delivered was perfect.
I think, I think for like part of my reason why I wasn't in love with the movie was scenes like that, where it was just like, oh, okay, so we're doing our montage scene, right? Where it was just kind of, it felt.
There was one scene like that for me that I didn't like, was after the first combine. He goes outside, he says he quits. Sandler says he quits. Then he goes back into the gym. And it was like a whole new was he wearing a different sweater too? I don't remember wearing that. Maybe he was always wearing that sweater. But then he's like, hey man, you want to be here? And he has this whole thing that like everyone saw in the trailer. That like kind of took me out of it. That kind of thing. Like, we're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this. Now. Yeah, this is your hype up speech of like, hey, you got to really want this, man. That's what it felt a little too.
That was a pretty good Sandler. You kind of had that. You gotta want this.
You gotta want this, man.
But my favorite thing with the workout montage was the giant tire.
Yeah,
that they kept rolling down the court. Is that a thing? Like, I've never heard of that. And then he had a line that said, or Sandler had a line that was like, "We're doing this because nobody else is doing this." And I thought they were talking about the tire. Because I'm like, nobody does the tire. This is not a thing I've heard about in basketball training. I don't know. I kind of get it with the.
When I used to have a gym membership, I did see dudes doing that, and I just felt like it was like, okay, you're being a little extra today. You're flipping tires. Got it.
Well, I understand the flipping tires thing, but the guy's just rolling pushing the tire while Bo's doing the drill, and then Bo's
and he's like passing
passing through the hole of the tire.
That's right. Yeah, that's
which like, okay, I kind of understand the use of the tire, but like. I feel like there's a different. You don't need to lug a tire into the gym.
Yeah. How are we getting this here? Are we getting a flatbed? What's going on here?
Like, how do you get this tire in here, in and out? Like, because the tire can't stay there.
Logistics wise,
unless you own the gym, I guess. But
I guess that takes us to our last question. Then you had some questions, but what was your most unbelievable part? Was it the tire?
The tire. My most unbelievable. Okay, so I kind of like the movie because it felt realistic. I thought the basketball scenes were legit. Like it was
basketball was really good.
It was one of the most like. I mean, you ever rewatch Hoosiers?
Yeah,
dude, it's not good. It doesn't really hold up.
Basketball is
the basketball's not great. Basketball scenes in this were great. I think the one thing maybe this is a thing, but I kind of got bothered by him wearing Timbs during the pickup games. Like, you have better shoes than that. Yeah, I know you're a construction worker, but whatever. Like, that's just a thing. And then when he gets to the gym, he's wearing flip flops, and he hits the bar thing and just goes above, over what they can measure. He maxes out, and it's like, can he really do that? Is that a thing? Like, maybe, I don't know. He's 6'11", so maybe that's a thing. But there wasn't really anything too. Oh, you know what? It was no. Yeah, that was kind of it.
I had a couple things. One small thing was this guy has a full like sleeve and chest tattoos, and he's a construction worker. I just like,
ooh, that's a good.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's a real NBA player. He has money, but I'm like, hey, look, in real life, this guy doesn't have that many tattoos. That's like $4,000 worth of work there.
It's a good point.
He's not doing that. And then, but the actual biggest thing that I felt was unbelievable. And it was Queen Latifah being married to Adam Sandler. There's no way.
I will defend this.
Yeah, no, zero chance that she's marrying that dude. But
No,
we'll
I
see.
actually, I
All right,
really, I'm glad we're talking about this because
Yes.
I thought about this. I liked it. I like that.
you liked it?
He's been doing that where he kind of marries these people that you wouldn't think that he'd be married to. In
Okay, yeah,
movies.
he's doing a little bit more different. Instead of like he's in early in his career was always some hot chick that was.
So he's Jennifer Aniston,
Yeah,
Drew
yeah.
Barrymore, who No, let's bring Queen fucking Latifah into this.
Let's
I thought it was,
Latifah.
and I thought she did a solid job.
No, she was great. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah. But yeah, to see him married to her is kind of, I don't know.
It's just I think it's because I know who Queen Latifah is outside the show. I mean, like in the show, kind of the show, they're both like athletes, and they met.
Didn't you ever see
in college?
was it Bringing Down the House with Queen Latifah and
Might
Steve
have seen
Martin?
that like once. Yeah,
that was I think Steve Martin. I can't remember that movie very well, but
Steve Martin hooks up with Latifah.
Doesn't he hook up with her?
Is that what
happens in that movie?
Yeah,
Kind of, Adam. Adam's going like this off screen.
Adam's like, yeah, he hooks up with Latifah.
I think.
Adam,
unmute yourself and then.
Yeah, you gotta.
I don't remember exactly the movie. I think it's like, I think Steve Martin is divorced, and Queen Latifah, isn't she like a babysitter or something,
or maid or something, right?
Something like that.
Anyways,
and then they get involved somehow. I don't really remember exactly. I think I don't think they like fall in love or anything. I think they just become friends or something like that. But yeah, it was something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago when I watched it. I mean, it
came out in 2003.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was like, God, we were like, what?
Doesn't matter how old we were.
Junior high.
Young bucks watching Latifah. But yeah, no, that was for me. That was I was like, no, she's got like a neck tattoo. She's Queen Latifah. She's cool as shit. I don't know if she's settling down with Adam Sandler. Let's just.
I didn't mind it. I understand. I appreciate the gripe though. It's hilarious.
Great, small gripe. All right. You said you had some questions for me about. And we got one.
I do have questions. Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot. What kind of team works well for somebody like Bo Cruz?
All right, so I'm gonna be a little selfish, and I would say the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
He's yeah. Sorry, man, I had to do it. He's a 6'11", defensive-minded guy that hit a corner shot. Yeah, that's what we need.
Well, I don't know if he was defense. He was he was a high head that had a knockdown jumper.
Yeah,
I guess he did have good defense too, right? He was kind of
he's like the boa, the constrictor. So
kind of like the Giannis. Kind of made me think. You know what this movie made me think about? Was like, why didn't more people know about Giannis? Like Giannis was kind of like seen at a gym from a YouTube video, and you kind of have to go off of that. Why wasn't there more footage of him? They tried so hard to get Bo Cruz into the draft combine, but Giannis they didn't.
Well, Giannis was also a lot smaller at the time, and so that's one. But like, I think it's what happens. It's a very good story wise of like if the person is not some known commodity or known person, GMs just don't want to draft because they don't want to look stupid. It's the same happened with Luka.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't take Luka number one. He's an obvious number one pick. If you redraft that year, it's crazy. But it's just kind of what happens.
Yeah.
I think.
So Bulls is a good pick. He's good on every team.
Yeah,
he's good on the Warriors. He's good on. I mean, the Warriors would maximize his skill set because they just.
Oh, that's a good one.
Shoot. Yeah. But then conversely to that, who's the team that's going to screw him up?
Oh, the Kings.
Is it the Kings?
It's the Kings.
Yeah.
It's the Kings, or the other team that came to mind is the Pacers. Like he's
okay. That's a good one.
Yeah, he goes drafted the Pacers, and he just was like, "Hey, whatever happened to Bo Cruz? He's on the Pacers. Yeah, he's like fine. He had flirted with an All-Star one season.
You're right.
He was like, yeah, but he just doesn't really.
He got hurt.
Real like Sabonis type, vibes. We're just like, yeah, I guess he's good.
I wonder.
He's probably getting traded.
I kind of want to say like Detroit.
Ooh, Detroit would ruin him.
They screwed up Darko. I feel like Darko actually would have had a talented career, but like Detroit, like because they already have Cade, they already have Sadiq Bey. You try to put in something like Bo Cruz there, it was just too much stuff. Maybe they would screw it up somehow.
Yeah, Detroit would be good. Indiana
them.
Yeah, he would just be lost in the sauce over there. And then
the other question I kind of had was the montage about Sandler's character, flying everywhere. He's going to Germany. Yeah. He's going to China. He's going to Brazil. I think Portugal. I think. Are NBA scouts really this rigorous in their work? Because I heard on a recent pod from Low Post that the Portland Trail Blazers finally hired a second international scout the last offseason to help. So like most teams maybe are not like that. Maybe Portland's more of a outlier in this case, but like that's a lot of like, is this really how it is? Like,
just one guy going to Spain, Germany, Italy, seeing all these guys. It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's how it is. And those guys, I would love to interview one of those guys if he's listening to this pod, or her. Like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting. We got one question in the chat here from our own boy, the lawn boss. I think it's a good one. I might have to think about this one for a minute though. Which retired NBA player would play you in a movie about your basketball career? Mine would be
wait, are we talking
Kirk.
about like my made up basketball career? Because his is Captain Kirk, so he means Kirk Heinrich.
Kirk Heinrich comes in.
William Shatner's or Chris Pine's Captain Kirk.
Yes, your made up basketball career. So who's playing the big man down low?
Oh, it's Marc Gasol for me.
Oh, Marc Gasol, that's a good one.
I love Marc Gasol. I love because the idea, because I feel like I was always a late bloomer. Adam at one point was taller than me.
Oh wow.
And so like, and Marc Gasol was like 23 or 22 when he got traded for his brother from the Lakers to Memphis.
Pow.
And then he kind of grew from there. Memphis was not expecting to become what he is, and
then he became a solid player.
I kind of look at that. I'm like, I feel
Marc Gasol would be good for you. Yeah, I can see that. I don't know which retired player, but I'm gonna go. This might be a little crazy. I'm taking Iverson. I think Allen Iverson plays me in a movie about a 3-point shooting small point guard with a lot of sass and doesn't want to practice. That sounds like me.
He doesn't want to. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
I couldn't think of any other shorter.
I'm trying to think of another sharpshooter though. Like Mark Jackson, could that be an interesting one?
Mark Jackson would be good. Kind of like a surly.
Because you pass more too. You're more of a passer.
Yeah, that's true. I was a pass first guy. That's better. I like Mark Jackson.
Okay, there you go.
A mediocre NBA player. There it is. AI was too good.
Who was respected and is still
respected, but like,
in the league today. Announcing and
he's
getting credit for the Warriors winning over and over again
from every time. Here they go, win another title. I'm on the mic.
At the game.
Back when I coached them, they did this. Yeah, woo. Cool. Let's celebrate another championship, boys. Oh, what could have been? Me and Mark. All right, Mark Jackson. I love that. Mark Jackson just playing me. I like this. So in the movie about the box out boys' basketball careers, is Marc Gasol, Mark Jackson, and Kirk Heinrich playing the three of us. Just playing pool basketball.
Who's playing Adam? Who do we got for Adam here?
Ooh, Heinrich would be another good one for Adam, but we already got him. Yeah, we already got him.
Like a Bobby Jones. If we want to go back to Winning Time, Bobby Jones was in that, but he's more of a defensive guy. Or
spot on. I was actually thinking Gasol for Chris. Yes.
There was a white guy on the Lakers.
Luke Walton.
He got minutes. Mark Landsberger. He was mentioned in Winning Time. Mark Landsberger is Adam.
Is Adam? I have to look him up after. Mark Landsberger. That's you, Adam.
I remember seeing him on screen. I'm like, who's this guy? And then he kept getting minutes. I'm like, oh, he's playing in these games. Okay,
he's getting clutch minutes.
Mark Landsberger for Adam.
Well, my friend, we're getting up to about an hour here. What do you think? Anything else on these other shows?
I had a couple notes that I want to get out. They mentioned the title of the movie twice.
Yes.
Once in the beginning, when Sandler first meets Bo, he says, "Is this just a part of the hustle?" And then later, after he finds Bo doing pickup when they're in the United States before they go to their first combine, he says, "We're not here to hustle." So 2 times for hustle. That wasn't as good as I thought about. Brad Stevens was also in this movie. That felt like a hey, Brad's here too kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, we'll talk to you later, Brad.
Get Brad in a shot real quick.
And it's like, oh, he's there because I think at the time this movie was shot,
he was coached. Right?
Juan was actually on the Boston Celtics. He was drafted by Denver, which Denver I'm pretty sure has like the most robust international scout system in the league because they drafted Gobert, Nurkic, Jokic. Vlahovic Cancer is one of their newest guys. Emmanuel Mudiay, I'm pretty sure is like from France. So it kind of made sense that they did drafted someone like Juancho Hernan Gomez. One other thing, I love that this movie's on Netflix. 10 years ago, this movie would have been PG-13, which would have been still 95% of what it is, but it's kind of nice that you don't have to have a filter. You can kind of just be a real life version of it. And then Bo Cruz, trivia wise, Bo Cruz is introduced exactly 22 minutes into this movie. And he also wears number 22 at the end in honor of, obviously it's like a theme of the movie, Stanley Sugarman.
22.
One other random note: Matisse Thybulle mural. Did you notice that in Philadelphia?
He had a mural too.
He had a mural in Philadelphia. It's like, okay, Matisse Thybulle gets a mural.
A little early, but okay.
But a little early, little not whatever. And great ending to a solid movie. That's my last note. I like the ending. It all worked out. We got the girl took over of the movie. Who's the
sister, right? Yeah, she's
sister,
the daughter. Real genie bus situation there,
right? So,
and then one last note here from the boss, Kyle Korver for Adam. That's a good one.
That's a good one. That's better. Let's do that instead of looking up Mark Lanesberger. What a last name too, Lanesberger. Kyle Korver is good for Adam. Yeah,
all right.
I like
Kyle Korver, just heating it up in the corner. All right, Chris, have you had enough of your basketball talk for the week? You feel refreshed?
But I'm gonna prep for our roundtable discussion will be
in several weeks.
What's our date for that? We have a date for that. September 21st. But there's gonna be a lot to talk about. I'm excited.
There definitely will be. I believe in 2 weeks. 2 weeks we're doing the Bourbon Boys, correct?
Yes, Joey needs to get on that for us.
Yes, let us know what bourbons to get. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, so not next week, the week after, and we will be chatting it up about bourbon. But this has been fun. So far, it's been good. We had the Mac Miller one, and then we had this one. This was fun. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the shows. I was a little nervous there after the first episode or two of Winning Time. I was like, "Ooh, I gotta watch 10 of these." But
no,
no,
it worked out.
It worked out. I ended up really liking it. So. And that was fun, and Hustle was solid. So I can't complain about watching that.
It's 2 hours.
2 hours. It was easy in and out.
Yeah.
Well, that is it for us tonight. So join us in 2 weeks to talk some bourbon and more NBA basketball, whatever kind we get into. That'll probably be a pretty fun, loose show, I think. I think we'll probably just kind of chat up. Maybe if there's anything happening in the NBA world, we can kind of touch on it. I might actually we'll just probably shoot the shit there, I think. And that would be fun. We'll talk to Joey, see what he wants to do. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Join us live Wednesdays around 8:30. Send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. And as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, I'm Titus. Until next time, Box Out.